So time for business on France 24. Today, that means Paris Air Show once again. It's day 2, in fact, of this year's edition of the world's oldest air show. And our business editor, Stephen Carroll, is once again not with us here, but he's at Le Bourget Airport once again for us. Stephen, first of all, just tell us what's due to happen there today, can you?
Well, first of all, Stuart, let me tell you the weather is an awful lot better today than it was yesterday. It sounds a strange thing to talk about at these sort of events, but you do spend quite a lot of time looking at the sky when you're watching the airplane displays, so sunny weather is a good thing for this sort of event. But of course, back to business, the two main rivals here, Airbus and Boeing, that we talk about because they dominate the passenger jet market to such a massive extent. I can tell you after the first day of the Paris Air Show, Airbus is leading in terms of orders, 146 orders for new aircraft announced by Airbus compared to just 79 for Boeing. Now, Boeing always claims they don't like to crowd all of their orders into an air show sort of event, this sort of crowded event. They prefer to allow their customers to order planes when they want. But their main news conference is coming up later today, so we'll be waiting to hear what they're going to tell us in terms of their strategy to try and regain their space over this ongoing rivalry between those two companies. Of course, the other way that those companies try to impress their customers here at the air show is with their really impressive displays of aircraft. They take place around lunchtime here at Le Bourget. It's a very noisy event. If you're watching later on, you'll hear as much as you'll see. And also, what they try to do, of course, is show what these aircraft are capable of. We've had Boeing show off its 787, making a sort of a vertical takeoff, which essentially what somebody's described as trying to make their 787 look like it's a rocket. And we've had Airbus do something similar as well in recent days. So it's an interesting one to watch to see how those two rivals compare. But as I say, after the first day, Airbus leading on orders so far.
Yeah, amazing timing there, Stephen. Just seeing those fantastic images of that rocket, as you put it. It's not just about the big names there, though, is it, Stephen?
No, there are more than 2,200 exhibitors at the Paris Air Show, and they come from right across the industry. Of course, we do have those big names like Airbus and Boeing, but there's also quite a big military presence here, and suppliers are really a key part of this industry. I mean, for every job that you have in those major airline manufacturers, there's another multiple of jobs which are kept in those supplying firms, and those supply contracts can often be worth as much as those major aircraft titles. Now, yesterday we spoke to Mahindra, the chairman and managing director of the Mahindra Group. Anand Mahindra, the chairman and chief executive, said that that's a really big step for the company. Let's listen to what he had to say.
We seem to be off and running now, and this we obviously hope will lead to many more such orders with Airbus, and I believe gives us the credentials to get orders with many other manufacturers as well, allowing us to finally make this a very strong and growing business within the Mahindra Group.
And on that issue of credentials, it's been something that's been an issue, especially here in France. If we think about the Rafales deal, that was one of the things that came into the discussions as whether or not the technology would exist in India to build those crucial parts. Do you now feel that a step has been made here in the right direction?
I think the emphasis is on the word step. Obviously, this is a journey and not a destination at this point. But the fact is that, yes, it is indication that there are suppliers and companies and business houses in India which can deliver world-class quality.
And of course, the government will be very pleased, the Indian government will be very pleased with this announcement, as you say, breaking into that very important market. Is this a step in the direction of the Make in India campaign that Narendra Modi has been pushing so hard?
I would imagine so. I think your question's almost rhetorical because, yes, it is. The moment you can demonstrate that you have companies in India that can manufacture to the rigorous requirements of companies such as Airbus, then you are already validating your contention that making in India for the world is a very viable aspiration to have.
That's Anand Mahindra there of the Mahindra Group speaking to me earlier. Now, of course, as we say, we're looking ahead to what's going to be happening with Boeing here as well. But of course, the airline displays are quite a good feature of today. One of the one of the aircraft taking to the skies will be Airbus's electric plane, the E-Fan, and also, of course, the big Airbus A380 and the 787 from Boeing as well. Before we leave you from Le Bourget, let's take a look at what's happening on the markets. Europe has just opened up and shares all opening down again today. This over continuing continuing worries over the Greek debt crisis. We've had reports of the Greek Finance Minister Yanis Varoufakis saying they won't bring any new reforms to the table when they have that crucial meeting later this week. Not helping things in Asia today in trading either. All of the main indices trading down. Some worries over margins in Shanghai as well, leading the Shanghai index to trade sharply down today. But we'll have plenty more from the Paris Air Show throughout the day here on France 24. But for now, it's back to you, Stuart.
You get the name right at least, Stephen. Thanks a lot, Stephen. Stephen Carroll doing an excellent job, of course, there at Le Bourget, as he says. A lot more from him during the day on France 24.